So many guitar players struggle to get the feel of the blues, even after years of practice. And after teaching thousands of students over the last decade and a half or so, I found that it really comes down to improving two basic things. Stick with me for the next few minutes, and I'll show you exactly what they are and how to fix them. And by the end, you'll have two specific exercises that will help you boost your blues skills and dial in that elusive blues feel. I don't think most of us realize that the shuffle is everywhere in the blues. It's more than just that common Sweet Home Chicago style riff. Here's what we tend to miss. The shuffle isn't just those obvious blues riffs. It's really hiding everywhere, including in places where you just don't expect it. And when you add that to your groove and even your licks, your solos, things just tend to feel a bit more bluesy. Take this exercise from the Fingerpicking Quick Start, for example. And by the way, you can grab the Quick Start for free at the link below to follow along. And the only thing I changed on the repeat was that I added the triplet-based shuffle feel. And here's another example. I'm going to play it straight up the first time around and then add that bluesy shuffle to it. But how can you work on this important rhythmic feel? Let me take you through an exercise that will help you understand where it comes from and get this into your playing. The shuffle feel is based on triplets, so we're going to go through an exercise that gets us really at the heart of the rhythm of triplets. We're going to just lay our hand across the strings so we just get a little scratch, a little mute going on, and the thumb is just going to push down through the bass strings. And we're just going to get that thumpy sound. And we're going to do that along with the full triplet count, like this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Now, if that's a little fast for your thumb, just slow it down, but keep those triplets nice and evenly counted. And the next thing we're going to do is really get to the heart of the shuffle by not playing on each one of those syllables. Specifically, we're going to leave out the trip. So we're still going to play every time we say a number, and we're still going to play every time we say let. And this is what we're going to end up with. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. So we get this sort of long, quick, long, quick, long, quick, long pulse, and that is the heart of the shuffle. It gives it that sort of forward-leaning, flat tire loping kind of sound. And the next thing we need to do, of course, is to put this into practice with a chord, with a simple melody going. So what we're going to do is every time we say a number, the thumb's just going to play the bass. This will be dead bass. So we'll play 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. But we're going to add a couple of melody notes on the lets. Remember, we're not going to play on the trips here, but we're still going to say it to help keep us in time with our shuffle. And we're going to end up with this. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. So just a 2-bar pattern there, but mostly what we're doing is playing on the let with the open first string and then dropping that little finger down for the E7 on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, just letting it hang until we come back and open up on the let of 3 and 4. And that basically repeats. Only thing is at the end, we play on the let of 4 and then both the E's on the 1. Not all blues has a shuffle feel, but so much of it does that if you're not really good at playing with this shuffle rhythm, your blues just won't feel right often. So dial in your shuffle and let it come through in more of your blues than just that Sweet Home Chicago riff, and you're going to be well on your way to playing with more of that bluesy feel that we're after. But there's another element that you've got to work on to help your blues really groove. We all had that beginner sound when we first started playing guitar, and it can take some of us years to shed that, but I'm convinced that this next element really gets to the heart of the issue, It's all about timing, but it's a bit deeper than you think. So let's tear down this example that has some timing problems. See, I used to think timing was just about getting to the note at the right beat. And maybe you think that way too, but really timing has two components. You have to arrive on time and you have to stay the right amount of time. To train this, we can work on an exercise like this one. You see, we hold out certain notes here, which means that we need to stay put and only move when we need to play another note with that same finger. And this breaks that sort of feeling that we get from strum-alongs where we change the entire chord shape on the downbeat. Here, we just change what we need to when we need to. Let's take a closer look at this. We're going to pick our way through a C major, A minor, F major, and G7. But the trick here is that we're not just going to change this entire chord shape on the downbeat like we might if we were strumming. What we're going to do is kind of crawl our way through the notes that we need to keep the melody alive. That's something we must do as finger pickers. And the first example of that is picking through the C major, and I drop my little finger down on the 3rd fret of the 1st string. And that note needs to stay put. I want that to ring out over the bar line even as I change into my A chord, A minor, and this really gives it more of an A minor 7 sound, right? But it's part of the melody and it needs to sustain through the chord change. And as I move into A, notice that the only thing that I moved on the fretboard was my ring finger. It just released that C. Now, importantly, that C was being held down the entire time up until that point. And we're letting that note fully develop over the C measure, and only when I need it to become an A am I releasing it from the fretboard. All right? And then the next part here, again, thinking about this as an A minor 7 sound. Pluck through, hit the 4th string, and this is another moment where I'm kind of crawling through the melody. I'm only moving the finger that needs to move. In this case, I want to play the open 3rd string and then fret the A with my middle finger on the 3rd string 2nd fret. It sets me up nicely for the F, which is where we're headed, right? Let's watch that move. Right? We want the notes to ring as long as possible. Move into F, and I'm just moving up from the C to the D note here. And then that D note needs to hold position and hang out over the bar line as we move into the G7 part to wrap up our exercise. These two elements, the shuffle rhythm and timing, are responsible for so much of that bluesy sound, but there's another technique that we need to pay attention to, and it can make or break your performances. So watch this lesson next to learn what that technique is and how you can use it to bring even more of that bluesy feel to your playing. I'll see you there. Until next time, practice smart and play on.